Hey, this is Randy Joe, and this is reading negative reviews on Rate Your Music. Last week I did Igor by Tyler, the Creator for the first episode, and this is the second episode where I am reading negative reviews on Rate Your Music for Black Midi Schlagenheim. Schlagenheim by Black Midi is one of my favorite albums of last year, maybe in my top 5, because I really enjoy the noisy, experimental nature of it all, and this album really captures it in just spades. On top of that, I also want to mention that this is ranked number 8 for 2019 on Rate Your Music, the 8th highest rated album of the year, with a rating of 3.68 out of 5. And on top of that, the genres include math rock, noise rock, experimental rock, post-hardcore, post-punk, and no wave. Without further ado, let's get into the negative reviews. We got this one, 1.5 out of 5 stars. They said, I can only imagine some folks are really enamored by the wild, tonal, and aesthetic shifts this album takes, to the point that over the course of 3 or 4 listens, I felt like I'd heard about 25 different songs rather than just 9. Maybe in a roundabout way, that's an appealing thing to have in an album like this, but rather my impression is just that it's a horrible mess and I'd much rather know what I'm putting on, like, any other album would. I don't think there's no chance at my enjoying this down the line, but honestly, some of this stuff is juxtaposed in too stomach-churning bizarre a fashion for me. It's certainly an exercise, whatever it is. Alright, that is a pretty fair review. I do think they are kind of correct and fair in saying that this does feel like many songs melded into one, but that's sort of the appeal, is just how many shifts there are within each song, I think. There is a lot going on in each song, and it makes it extremely textured and rich in just how much you can look into it. I also think just the combination of sounds is extremely appealing to people who like to look deeper into the music. So that's fair. Again, not for everyone. Listy Guy gave it 3 out of 5 and said, I know a lot of the complaints around this album are about the vocals, which is a fair criticism, but I wouldn't go as far to say that's my only issue with the album. Yes, the vocals do bother me a bit, but the songs themselves don't have me that excited either. I don't think the instrumentals are that fantastic here. And does it really matter who is singing boom boom boom? That vocal line was going to be bad regardless. Favorite tracks? Reggae? Really, reggae, favorite tracks? I wouldn't think many people would put reggae as a favorite track. I certainly wouldn't. I think that's one of the most boring ones. But that aside, I personally think the vocals are one of the best thing about it. Yeah, on a first listen, it's a bit weird and a bit jarring, but it's very much a style thing, in the same way that the singer of Talking Heads, David Byrne, sings very awkwardly and strangely. It's a style thing. So style is extremely important in the context of Black Midi. It's not for everybody, but I don't think it's something that you can necessarily hold against them, as I think it is something you have to get accustomed to over time. You shouldn't make snap judgments on it. If you do, you're not going to like it right away. It definitely took a few listens for me to really click and love the singing as much as I do now. And also, don't disrespect Boom Boom Boom. That track is amazing, and just how far that single line is taken in that song is truly incredible, in my opinion. Half a star, here we go. Late Gloomer said, really awesome instrumentals that are set back by the vocalist, who really just sounds like a castrated Johnny Rotten at times, and at other times like a knockoff Mark E. Smith. Favorite tracks, Near Detroit, Michigan, because it sounds like early Unwound, which is dope. Least favorite track, Boom Boom Boom. What the fuck is this song? I actually physically cringed while listening to it and had to laugh. Shit out of 10. I like that one. Yeah, I really like Boom Boom Boom. Why is everyone so mean? Shit out of 10 is not a rating, so I'm not bothered. Awesome instrumentals set back by the vocalist. Okay. Again, the vocals, stop disrespecting Jordy Greep's vocals. Okay? His vocals sound fantastic, and they are just extremely soaked in style. And if you don't like style, then I'm sorry, but it's just not for you. But I wouldn't call them bad, okay? Because he's not a bad vocalist by any means. This guy said, if Primus was a band full of musicians who had A, intense social anxiety, and B, just discovered Slint for the first time, their music would sound like Black Midi's debut LP, Schlagenheim. So amazing. Primus with intense social anxiety kind of perfectly describes this band, but I don't see that as a negative in any way because Primus itself is just an amazing band. And then you slap on some social anxiety with that, you got a whole record of new sound, all right? You got so much direction you can go with that. And Black Midi really goes in every direction with that social anxiety induced feeling. And they probably do have social anxiety. I mean, they're a bit odd. They're a bit odd characters. Okay, this guy gets it. They gave it 3.5 stars and they said, great vocals, really one-ups the album from above average noise math rock to one of 2019's highlights in my opinion, gives the album a lot of charm. Not for everyone though. This guy completely understands the vocals. They are charm. Their style. It's not for everyone, but it's extremely important to give this very distinct personality to the band, and I love it. And honestly, if you criticize the vocals, I just think you're kind of missing the point of the vocals. So don't disrespect. This guy gave it 2 stars. Esther Greenwood said, people only like this because it's a new release, but in 5 years it won't even be top 5,000. I listened to this one a lot over a year later, and I kind of listen to it almost every day still, so disagree there. It's neither original nor interesting, and the vocals suck? Don't waste your time. Alright. Getting real sick of these vocals complaints. Getting a little rattled. Mux, the bestest, gave it 3 stars and said, really want to love this, just cannot get past the vocals. Okay. There's more to it. I'm not even going to bother with this one, but this guy gave it 2 stars. That which is creative is not always original and certainly not necessarily going to be good. Which is funny because the review not long after that says, I've probably never heard of something this creative, 5 stars. So definitely a divisive fan base Rate Your Music has. Let's find a really negative review. I want to find a super just negative, angry review. And they better not talk about vocals. 3 stars. JCho133 said, near Detroit, Michigan, a 10 though. Alright. Too bad most of the vocals are stinky and the production is tinny. The production, tinny? What? The production is one of the strongest things about this album. It's so well produced and it's so clean, it's so crisp. Every instrument just sounds so defined and sharp. Vocals are stinky. We're not going over this again. J-Cho, the vocals are not stinky. Getting very, very angry. Okay, this guy gave it 1.5 stars. It's a bit longer, but it seems like they have a lot to say. Prio, 1.5 stars. It said, just listen to this album again after hating it the first time through. Okay, they gave it a second chance. My opinion hasn't really changed, but I've gained a better understanding of what I really dislike about this album. It reminds me everything I like about Slint combined with everything I hate about Battles. It's this kind of quirky math rock that I can't see a purpose to. Math rock is one of my favorite genres, but I've always hated this particular brand of it. Unfortunately, this is the kind that gets more attention on the site. Bands such as Don Caballero, I can't pronounce that, Hella, Shellac, and Polvo dominate the charts as opposed to bands I'm more of a fan of such as Chon, Tricot, Toe, and TTNG. They're being pretty reasonable. They're not hating on the vocals for once, thank God. I guess the main point that I'm trying to make is that I don't really understand the album and I don't think I ever will. Looking at the genres on this thing, I should absolutely loving it. The only genre I'm not entirely a fan of is post-punk, but I can tolerate some forms of it. Overall, I just think this album is far too disconnected from itself. Plus, the vocals are just unbearable. You guys gotta leave Jordy Greep alone. I will not tolerate it. There it is. Hating on the vocals again, eh? Hating on the vocals. Always attacking Mr. Greep. You guys don't deserve him. Don't deserve him at all. You know, that's it for the video. That's the last one. I'm done. I'm done looking at these complaints about his vocals. New videos, reading negative reviews every Sunday on my favorite albums. My name is Randy Joe. Thank you for watching. Please hit subscribe if you want to see more of these. And I will see you in the next video.